King 3 of diamonds for Marques in the big blind.
Cow.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. This is a nightmare three-handed.
How? What's your expression about blockers, Joseph?
Buddy, right here, read the shirt.
Blockers are not real.
Available on JoeStapleton.com.
Wait, guys, it went check on the flop like light speed.
It did.
We're already on the turn.
Do they ever end up chopping this?
I mean, there is a 14% chance that happens.
$375.
They're both going to slow play it to 8th Street.
So with it going check on the flop, Marques leads the turn for 375,000. Park with the best hand right now. Raises.
1,300,000.
Gulp.
Makes it 1.375 million, so it's an additional milli. Marques playing time bank cards, thinking about how to respond to this raise.
4 million.
No, I think we can only call if we want to continue.
4.1 million.
Oh my! How?
Bluff. Bluff. No bluff.
Look at his face. He knows it too. He's like, I am 100% confident that was a good fold.
Fold of the century of the year.
Incredible stuff from Pedro Marques. You know what I'm going to say? It's the water drinking.
And Pedro able to defend a bit wider against the other, inverted commas, short stack. Oh. And 2 queens versus a button open.
1.75.
And Park in a bit of a conundrum here because Jack 10 of clubs is a hand that we sort of feel obligated to defend.
King 10-3, second pair for Park. Marques, huge favorite here with queens.
Yeah, and kind of same situation for both players. Medium satisfied for this. Neither with a heart. Pedro will be a little bit wary of the king.
Yeah.
And Park likewise taking a read on his player, dialed in.
425.
Comes with 10%. This is a good sizing. If we imagine, you know, a lot of the reason you're betting big on flops or even medium size is to make sure you can get the money in over 3 streets. Here, there's no problem.
Park calls and spikes his jack on the turn. He now has 2 pair.
Yeah, and Marques, I mean, ace-queen isn't that likely a hand when we have 2 queens.
What a ridiculous turn card. I mean, Marques still has 38% equity, Sam. Could still improve to a set, could still make a straight.
Yeah, and you see, not...
All-in.
Wow. Park just pulls the trigger on the turn, rips for 4 million.
Yeah, and Marques now with a puzzle to solve.
4,075,000.
Wanted to see it go check. Can he, is he up against a hand like ace X of hearts, 9-8, 9-8 of hearts, something like that? Is he ever dead? I mean, he can't be dead, but yeah, I mean, I guess unlike the ace-queen, but is he against a really strong hand like pocket tens? Very tough. Where is he in his own range? Really, really hard. Maybe thinking through also what he knows about Park. That timing, the quick all-in.
Very quick.
I think does rule out ace-queen, arguably. But also, perhaps less likely to be a semi-bluff. Not fun at all.
Now, Marques has already made one huge laydown to Park. They both flopped trip kings.
Oh, wow.
And Marques got away from it on the turn, somehow.
Wow, that's very impressive. Yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, I would say that Pedro might lay this down. He might have just wanted to put it in himself and make sure that ace-jack has a tough decision, or jack-x of hearts ends up calling, ace-x of hearts has a tough decision, etc., etc. Having checked, probably giving, I mean, it does just make sense that he's got a hand like king-jack, king-10, jack-10. You know, a hand like even as strong as king-10 of clubs might feel vulnerable here with so many straight draws, the flush draw, and I think Pedro will sort of decipher that in the end. And if we imagine, oh, I don't know, we shall see. We shall see what he comes to. Not an easy decision.
Utilizing those time bank cards, that's what they're for. Buying you extra time when you have a tough decision to make.
Yeah, and it's hard to get a read because, I mean, even if he's got a bluff, it's going to be one with good equity. And that's also another reason sometimes you want to sort of lay down your hand because, you know, if best case scenario is 9-8 of hearts, then, you know,
That's
we're
a
either
fold.
dead or... And he does lay it down,
Yeah.
makes the big fold.
The bluff. No bluff. No. No bluff.
Hit.
King.
Hit.
As good as a king. Marques has moved all in
Good luck.
from the big blind. Runcan just completed in the small and has called the shove. Ace-3 against king-queen.
10 million out there in the middle.
Jack 7-3. So a pair of threes for Marques doesn't really change anything. Still has to fade kings and queens. Runcan's card still live. No 10 on the turn, but still 6 cards for Pedro Marques to fade. If we do see a king or a queen on the river, we are going heads up here in Prague. The river is a 10, and that will be a double up.
Ace queen for Marques. Jack 4 for Runcan is going to defend the min raise. Runcan looking for diamonds and flops 2 of them. Top pair for Marques. This is the classic matchup. Top pair versus a flush draw.
And Pedro, see what size he goes for. See, in general, you sort of dampen sizing a bit against chip leader, but this hand on this board, so many straight draws and flush draws, they size up a little. See, Pedro's a pretty
425.
controlled guy, and we'll just, yeah,
Gonna go
just
quarter
balance
pot.
and go quarter pot. And this sizing might induce a check raise. Check raising does fold out some dominating Jack X. Will call. Always lead some turns as well.
And Runcan does lead on occasion and absolutely drills this diamond.
Yeah, and in general, this is a turn card that's much better for the big blind, who has 6-7s off, 6-7 off, 5-7 off, 3-4, doesn't lead.
Runcan checks.
And Pedro's not going to give away any emotion, as you say, but it's not the card you wanted to see. Maybe the worst card in the deck next to the 4 of diamonds. He down bet with the ace, queen, or will he check?
1.675.
Not really a down bet. That is a significant portion of this pot.
Really interesting. It's kind of interesting because once it goes past a certain amount of time banks, you sort of feel. It's also thinking, is it a shove or is it just, is there some kind of half check, like check raise, half stack, something like that?
It does not appear to be a shove. This is a good old-fashioned raise. For 1.675, he likes this number. He likes the 4 million.
Not what you want to see as Pedro. Such a good hand pre-flop. Such a good hand on the flop. Oh,
Oh boy. This is going to leave a mark.
Wow. Pedro not feeling like he can pin it on the turn.
Makes the call, drawing stone dead. And the river is not something that's necessarily going to make Pedro any more likely to fold.
Yeah, nothing gets there. If somehow Runcan had been bluffing with ace-8 with a diamond, king-8 with the diamond, something of like that, nothing's got there that wasn't already beating Pedro. Check, check.
Interesting. I mean, the pot was big enough, just 10.5 million in the middle. Pedro.
I hope you didn't check too, Pepe.
That small hand funeral right there, maybe the most emotion we've seen out of Pedro in 5 days.
Wow, and Runcan
makes the call. Domination situation. This could be it for Park.
Can he go further?
We do go heads up.
Well played.
GG
Park. Well played.
to Jae-hyung Park. Great run from the South Korean. Traveled a long, long way. So, and Runcan here, picking up the ace-king. And doesn't shove, just goes for a raise. Hoping to get limp shoved on by a weaker holding. And Pedro with a hand that can actually call this raise. Yeah, it's a really nice part. I mean, there's a few of them, but the one in Tinskid James you have to check out. Yeah, let's see what Pedro wants to do. But I suspect he will continue. And we can see it matches up very nicely in actuality against the ace-king.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the first ever Stick and Go Championships. This is the final table. First place prize table is
And Runcan
€20,000.
playing a very controlled strategy, checking over to Pedro. What Pedro wants to do with the 7. Checks back in position. Checks again. And that might be a green light for Pedro to start value betting his hand.
1.5.
And it's a big sizing.
1.5 into 2.8.
And again, look at the way he just sets it up to be able to shove rivers as well. And Runcan would have loved it to go check, check again. We can imagine all sorts of bluffs. So ace-king, a hand that can outdraw a queen or a 7 quite easily and is the best hand sometimes. Nice to continue. That's not a great card, I wouldn't imagine, in Paul Runcan's mind. As again, the 8-5s, 8-9s, 8-10s of this world make a pair. Does Pedro go for it all on this river?
No.
He does.
Nice shove from Pedro. Good sense of where he is. And Runcan with a bluff catcher.
Everyone who's funking for Runcan calling for a fold.
And it is quite a nice bluff catcher. It's worth taking your time about. Obviously, king high and ace high in general don't get bluffed here. Maybe we can imagine a king 5 on occasion, but in general, we unblock bluffs. The thing is, we would like to have a piece of the board. Obviously, you know, ace 3 is significantly better.
I think the thought in Runcan's mind is just, you know, obviously Marques is going to be limp calling, you know, some suited combos, but how often does, say, like a flopped diamond draw for Marques, will he be checking that back on the flop versus betting? Because obviously that's going to be one of the more obvious draws that did not improve.
Makes the call with the ace-king high.
And that is a full double up for Pedro Marques, and that does change things significantly.
My live reads are on. Aces for Runcan. King 9 for Marques. Certainly good enough for a poke. No raise. Unraised pot to the flop. 10-7-7.
Sort of a hand that's so hard to outdraw.
Does check it back. Queen of spades on the turn.
Pedro checks again. And now, with the queen and 10 that Runcan can get value from, and a flush draw out there, will put out some money. Half pot, full pot, indeed. Interesting. Credit to Runcan because he chisels out 1.2 million of value here against just king high with that deceptive check back. Oh, what a river.
Ooh.
And Runcan won't be able to see this straight draw, I don't believe. 8-9 might just bet out itself. So there shouldn't be too many straights in Marquez's range. And I wonder if he goes big again here. See, it's nice to imagine we could get value from Jack 10 or Queen Jack.
4.8.
And he's going huge on the river, over-betting the pot, 4.8 into 3.6.
Yeah, and the question for Pedro is, does he jam or does he just call? Is this a slow played 7-8? Or is this a sort of somehow, I don't know, pocket tens or ace king?
Ace is cracked by running straight cards. This is such a Joker Stars hand.
Yeah, and Pedro, considering what to do, can he get called by worse if he jams? Or is he just killing himself against ace king? That's what he's working through. It's a genuine tank, I do believe. Trying to assess.
All in.
There he goes. He puts it in the middle. And frustration for Runcan. Aces reduced to a bluff catcher.
When he made that big hero call with ace high, which was not correct, if he calls here with aces, he is not correct.
Yeah, it's just not very often, I think, that when you bet such a polarizing sizing on the river that people are going to be able to check jam over that sizing, you know, with hands that I think aces is going to be performing well against at this point.
We'll see the big switch
You won't
around.
believe what I have. I have aces.
And nice for
Go for
Runcan.
value with the Queen Jack. That would be something.
He's just considering,
Can you tell me please how many timings I used?
does worse ever shove for value? He says, would
Third one.
Queen Jack play like this?
Queen Jack, you go for value, yeah? No, I don't think we just fuck. I have 20 seconds. Okay. If I pay, I stay.
And
Queen Jack, Queen Jack.
Runcan taking some time to think it through, showing some of his personality there. Realizing
Nice one.
He folds.
Queen 10, Queen Jack.
So
Well done.
we don't get the switcheroo, but what happens now, guys, is it's almost even Stevens. Now that the stacks have drawn almost level, I wonder if one of the reasons why Pedro wants to count it is whether he's going to propose looking at the numbers.
You want to see
We are
numbers?
even now. Sorry?
You want to see numbers?
Even. What numbers?
See numbers. I said see numbers. See the numbers.
It's
See our
up to you.
stack.
It's up to you. We are even now.
You don't want to see?
No, if you want, we can see. Yeah. But we are even. It's like 50-50 if it's possible.
Yeah, so you can see the numbers if you want.
Yeah, up to you. Yeah. I didn't know it's possible even.
Yeah, it is, sure.
I was thinking it's not.
Of course you can see numbers. Come on, man. We put it half, and 10% for the winner plus the trophy. It's good? Yeah?
Well, it looks like they've already agreed the terms
Okay.
before Toby's had a chance to show him the numbers.
Runcan again coming in for a raise. I think this one makes more sense. Could fold out some dominating 6x and 3x.
Well, this is going to be the last hand of this blind level.
I don't think 10-9 will be going anywhere though. Got a small measure of deception as well. Get some credit on the high cards when you've got the low cards in actuality.
Okay, so pretty solid flop for Marques. Bottom pair and the gut shot. Runcan A whole 1%.
Running threes does happen, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out. Yeah, and with hope in his heart, will put out 700K. Would be delighted to see a fold with just 6 high. Pedro, as James rightly says, a solid third pair. Gut shot, not going anywhere. Now, what does Runcan want to do with the 6-3? Where do we find our bluffs from? And he's reaching again. Just balancing when he has tougher decisions. Comes along.
Makes the call, and we now have a pot of 11 million.
Yeah, not much fun for Runcan, sitting on 6 high.
Board pairs on the river. Runcan is literally playing the board here. Oh, he's checked again.
Well, we do know that Runcan, you know, has a little bit of a history of bluffing on paired boards. We'll see if he tries to fire a third barrel here.
That would be a disaster for him.
He's going for it, by the way.
Oh, he is. Those chips are 500K each. So it's a bet of 6.5 million.
Yeah, and Pedro doesn't snap call, by the way. Takes this bet seriously. Think we can fold. I wouldn't imagine so.
No. I understand taking some time, but equally, I don't see
By the
how
way,
he
he's sort of a
passes
believer.
this.
Yeah.
Makes the call. Runcan mucks, and that is a huge change in chip dynamic. Blinds are up to 250,000, 500,000, and we have Marques raising with King Queen, Runcan shoving with Queen Jack.
Wow, and this could be it.
And that is a call, and it is a domination situation. And if King Queen holds here against Queen Jack, we have a winner.
Pedro Marques,
Nation.
long time pro,
Good luck.
on the brink of a title which he will forever be associated with. If he can hold, join a long list of EPT champions. Runcan looking for that jack.
24% chance. 5 cards to come. The flop is king high. It's not looking good for Runcan. He's down to 4%. It could be all over on the turn.
A long line up there.
Runcan stands awaiting his fate.
The turn card is a deuce and it's over. We have our champion here in Prague.
That's the J, man.
It is Pedro Marques, the second most successful poker player in Portuguese history. Only João Vieira has more than him on the Portuguese all-time money list, and he's just added another 963,450 euros to his poker CV.
I mean, yeah, this is huge for me, man. I've been playing this for 10 years, and it's an amazing feeling. I hope, one day everybody here in this room can have this feeling, because it's fucking great.
Please give it up to Pedro Marques.
Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe for more awesome poker content, and check out this video. The YouTube algorithm seems confident you'll like it.